Hello everybody. I hope you have gone through all my previous lessons, ethics and behavior in organization. We discussed after the introduction the importance of meetings in the organization, communication, then we discussed on the time management, employees safety, then we discussed on the work ethics, integrity, sense of responsibility, we discussed on quality, discipline, sense of teamwork, and today our chapter is reliability, employees reliability, organizational reliability. The role of employees reliability in ethics and behavior in organizations. Reliable employee is punctual, follows through on his tasks and shows up ready to work. He is energetic from the heart. He is trying his level best to achieve the goal and given the task. They are called reliable employees. They work hard, they are punctual, they are respectable, they respect their seniors, and they love their juniors and co-workers. All the businessmen or business owners cannot afford to keep employees who are not reliable. If they are not respectable, they are not respecting the time, they are not respecting the rules, regulations of the organization, they are not respecting the productivity. If an employee constantly not respecting his timings and arrives late to work, fails to follow through or complete his task, and due to this behavior, the company loses time, money and business. The business people will never keep them. They will say bye-bye, gentlemen, sorry for we cannot keep you further. Employees' behavior in the workplace determines how well they function as a team. And with most teams working remotely due to COVID-19, coronavirus, maintaining proper conduct is the only way to ensure that the organization works smoothly. That's why all current human resources management strategies heavily focus on managing employee behavior and creating a positive organizational culture. Behavior and creating a positive organizational culture, apart from increasing their job satisfaction, it will also boost their job performance. In this lesson, we'll go over everything you need to know about employee behavior management, organizational behavior. We'll discuss the importance, how to instill those qualities, and finally, how to deal with an employee's negative behavior. First of all, we can say employees' behavior. What is the employee's behavior? As we discussed earlier, that is not punctual, it's negative. Is not hardworking, it is negative. He is not doing his task on time, is negative. He is abusive, it's negative. But same moment, positive behavior, he is cooperative, he is leading the team, and he is a good leader, he is more productive, problem solver. That's also called the behavior. It's a positive behavior. Employee behavior can be defined as how an employee responds or reacts under different circumstances in your organization, in your project, in your workplace, in the industry, in the factory, in the manufacturing sector, in any sector, even hotel, in motel, restaurants. So apart from adhering to workplace rules and maintaining professionalism, your employees must act responsibly and empathetically to uplift your corporate culture. Should we monitor the employee behavior? Yes, we should. Because our organization is paying him for his time, for his efforts. So one of the key responsibilities of a company is maintaining a healthy work environment. A positive organizational culture boosts every employee's job satisfaction level and increases your employee retention. And the easiest way to create such an environment is by monitoring employee behavior. If the behavior is positive and he is doing well, he should get the appraisal. That's the organizational responsibility. That's the company responsibility. That's the industry responsibility. A person behavior is positive. He is doing his job hardworking, punctual. His behavior attitude with employees is positive. He is giving the guideline to the employees. He is resolving your problems. He is always try his level best to work with his co-workers to help them, to give the guideline and giving the training to them. They should have the organizational responsibility to give them some appraisals. So besides improving team cohesion, employees with good behavior also help you mitigate the risks of thefts and illegal use of the company's resources. When you give the responsibility, an organization giving the responsibility to the manager, to the director, to their engineers, the head of departments, for the safe, but to give the profit to the company, but on the other hand, they steal. They lies to the employers. They misuse the powers given to them that no businessman or owner of the company or the director of the company, even the partner of the company will keep him in his organization. Humanity is about acknowledging shortcomings, being eager to learn and not being boastful of one's achievements. It is also desired behavior for proper team development. For example, a humble employee is more likely to take feedback positively and improve their performance. To understand if a person is humble, he is controlling himself, he is using his brain, he is using his knowledge, and he has always improved the performance. To understand if a person is humble, ask questions during the interviews and personality assessments. We do the assessment. If he is faithful to the company, behavior, previous organization, if he is faithful or not. Whom do you hold responsible for your failures? Can you mention some instances when you have failed? Many organizations I have seen they get failure in the organizations. What is the reason? Did the employer analyze what was the reason? The company was boosting the business. I have gone through such organizations. Arrogant, like, egotistical person is usually incapable of identifying their own failures, blaming others for the same. However, to instill humanity in your workforce, you must lead by example. Your behavior must be sportive and mindful. Be polite when pointing out an employee's mistakes or when asking them to do something. I've seen the culture shouting at the employees, loudly discussing with them, and when some employee or co-worker or is any from the project site, an engineer coming, the director or manager starts shouting at him, whatever he has to tell, he will avoid. So that causes the failure of the project. So your behavior should be mindful. It should be polite. Additionally, try to offer constructive criticism when dealing with problems and acknowledge your own faults whenever necessary. An inflexible person is always reluctant or even afraid to shift from their comfort zone and is more concerned about the failure of implementing a new idea. Conducting regular training sessions and encouraging your employees to propose alternative solutions to a problem are easy ways to encourage adaptability. It's as well very important for the top management when there's a report coming to them from the site superintendent or from the project manager that such employee is not in compliance with the scope of work given to him, or he is not doing his job properly, he is not regular at his work, and many other things. It is the superintendent or project manager or the site engineer writes that, look, this employee should be fired immediately because he is not doing the favorable things for the project interest or something, and the top management immediately will fire him. This happens in the organizations, and this is not the employee or the worker is doing something against the interest of the company or interest of the project. He is more intelligent and intellectual. He is more knowledgeable than them, but he is new to them. He is not following their old system. He is following those things, those systems which he understands that is more productivity, will bring more productivity or production, and more safe, and gives the better quality of the works in the low cost. The superintendent and project manager thinks that's it, employee, maybe tomorrow he will get my position. So top bank will fire him. It means the company lost and will lose a very valuable employee. So there should be an investigation on that from the client side. If the employee is productive, if employee's behavior is positive, if he is doing the positive things, so It is the top management responsibility to investigate before firing or before uh, that the employee, valuable employee, lost his job. So reliability of an employee is a crucial factor in building teams, assigning tasks and meeting deadlines. A reliable employee can take a load off your shoulders. You have not to be stand on his head all the time and tell him do this way, do this way, do this way, why, no, when, where, no. A reliable can take a big burden from your shoulders. You have not to worry about supervising them. Reliability is also an essential leadership skill. You will study about the reliability in the leadership, and it's something you should look out for in managers. Remember, your employees are more likely to consult a reliable team leader when there are concerns and problems. You can judge how reliable an employee is by asking, in case I need a turnaround, can you work outside of normal work hours? What is the toughest work-related decision you had to make? Describe the outcomes of the same. People who are erratic or fickle or typically irregular at work, lack time management skills, change jobs frequently, and are unwilling to account for their actions. Conducting periodic performance assessments and tracking the productivity of your employees, like their usual work hours, how long they spent on each project, will give you an idea of their reliability. Considering introducing a reward system for consistent performance and celebrate when an employee achieves a target. For example, if your project needs 1 year and due to hard work he saves 3 months, due to his experience and qualification and his reliability, he saves a lot of money. He is stacking the material professionally. He is using the material professionally, and all his tasks are organized and well planned. So it means he is saving your time, he is saving your money, and giving the good name to the organization in front of the client. So last time we have discussed about the communication. Again, we discussed about the good organizations. They have very good communication systems. What separates a team from the crowd. A communicative employee talks about their concerns and opinions on every project. They notify team members about prior engagements and are not hesitant in seeking help. So this we have discussed previously, and the patience as well. Very important. Employee values the importance of the job. Even if it gets boring or repetitive and is usually more proficient in completing a complicated task. They are unlikely to resign even when your business may not be growing as expected. Patient employees often possess excellent leadership skills and can be the best option when it comes to training, guiding new hires. You can judge how patient is a new hire is by asking many questions. what do you do if someone gets on your nerves? If somebody makes you nervous, angry, what are you going to do? Impatient employees are easily frustrated and often lack emotional intelligence. They may even lack decision-making qualities and may execute a plan without prior evaluation of the circumstances. One of the first steps in developing patience is having a healthy work-life balance. Mindset to ensure your employees are not neck deep in work. Remember, if your employees have too many deadlines, they cannot help but rush through things and get frustrated easily. And it's very important as well, reliability, willing to work, willing to learn. Willing to learn is also important. Many employees, they don't like to learn. They say we are trained. In my previous projects, I was a trainer. We used to give the training to the project managers, to the safety managers and safety factors. They would say, oh, sir, we are already trained. Every employee must strive for continuous improvement. Training doesn't mean to criticize or we challenge their qualification or their experience. It is refreshing. It not only helps them realize their goals, but also helps your business growth. One way to do this is by being in the constant loop of learning new things and implementing the knowledge in the real life. So the employer, he can evaluate the behavior of an employee candidate by asking many questions. Very important factor in deployment in employees is over-ambitiousness. Being ambitious is great until it blinds your employees. An ambitious employee is both reliable and self-improving. Their thirst for improving themselves also implies that they are likely to be adaptable and self-reliant, both of which are positive and behavior traits. However, it is only positive until their behavior starts negatively affecting their co-workers. Overly ambitious behavior may also split your workforce into two groups. Those who are dissatisfied with that specific employee but are unwilling to work as hard as they do, and those who want to compete with them out of ego or jealousy. This is normally you see in your organizations, ego and jealousy, which is impacts a negative impact on the organization to pull the legs down, stab from the back, and many other factors, making wrong complaints against the others, giving the bad information or bringing the negative information to the top management. So this is a bad behavior. It's a negative behavior for the employees. Defiance can be defined as intentional or other unreasonable opposition. A good employee will question you about your business, strategy, and workplace regulations. Voicing their concerns, insecurities, and giving feedback on every business proceeding is what makes a healthy working environment. However, It should not come at the cost of your authority and the morale of your team. Expand your ways. If an employee fails to see how doing what you ask of them is beneficial, they are likely to be unwilling to do the task. So reason with them and explain yourself. Appreciate their efforts. Reward your employees, which encourages them to work harder and to work as instructed. They also serves as motivation for other employees to grab the limelight of the next time. We have many unacceptable employees as well. When as a teamwork, we have everyone has his own behavior, own attitude, the way there are different colors, different societies, they have from the different culture, different languages, which I faced in the abroad, that from the different boundaries, different countries, different colors, different language. So we have discussed already the specific ways to deal with employees who exhibit inappropriate behavior. But what if that fails to change them and they still exhibit poor behavior? Should you just ask them to resign straightway? No. No, it's not the way. That you ask them to resign, or you ask to management to fire them, or you lost them. Remember, filling an open position is easier said than done. So offboarding an employee should be your last report when dealing with problem employees. Reassign them. An employee exhibiting counterproductive behavior can result in other employees exhibiting the same counterproductive behavior too. Your first step must be to minimize the contact of the toxic employees with the rest of the team, especially if the employee is part of a newly assembled team. You can also place them in a team of seasoned professionals where they can learn the right behavior to improve their performance. Try to understand them, talk to them, and ask their perspective, their problems. Understand their perspective. This will not only help you identify what you might be doing wrong, but also if any other employee is suffering from the same problem. Explain them the consequences. Give them chance, one chance, two chance, three chance. And I have seen in my life, in my career, there are many employees, the top man said he's useless, he's not productive. Today they are the manager. They came as a site engineer. Today he's the manager. He is the head of department. So everybody deserves a chance to set their things right. And also, so do your employees, after all, you must have seen something in them while hiring. That's why it's always important to give your employees the benefit of the doubt and give them a chance to rectify their toxic behavior before taking any drastic measures like firing them. Firing is very easy, but to make them valuable and asset of the company, asset of the organization, that is the technique, that is your strength, that is your leadership. Same way, the high reliable organizations recognize the importance of being able to communicate equally well with the frontline and management. Their engineers are adept, very skilled, are proficient at translating technical issues into layman's terms that their non-technically trained peers can understand. Talk them non-technical language. You are technical, you are engineer, but your labor is not engineer. Your carpenter, mason, steel fixer, electrician, or AC mechanic, they are not engineers. Or labor, they are not engineers. They are your strength. How you will communicate to them. This is a skill, and it is reliability. That you are reliable enough to communicate your co-workers. Effective problem solvers are solid conceptual thinkers who can understand a problem or condition by identifying patterns and protections that reveal which underlying issues to address. They are also leaders. Creativity and rigor in problem solving are always valuable, particularly at a time when organizational complexity is growing and the cost of failure, financial, social, and environmental failure, are ever increasing. Each day that a plant is sidelined can translate into millions of dollars lost. A malfunction that releases toxins in the environment can cause untold damage and a loss of the human life. There is a strong tendency in companies that are not high reliable organizations to isolate failure, to blame the culprits, or to not learn from the mistakes, not to learn from the lessons learned. And that's the idiotic, because few failures can be traced to a single individual. Organizations can do a lot to encourage their members to face up to failure, even to become preoccupied with it. So, we should discuss with our team. So this is the reliability of the employees, the reliability of the organizations. Reliability has the three levels: low level reliability organizations, medium reliability organizations, and the high reliability organizations. Same way as the employees: low reliable employees, medium reliable employees, and high reliable employees. So this is the thing which you should remember, that reliability is very important in organizations' behavior and ethics within the organizations, within industries, everywhere. Thank you very much, and we see you in the next chapter, which is positive, helpful character in organizations and ethics and behavior. So I will again highly share your this valuable things to your team, to your friends, and they should learn about the ethics and behavior in organizations, which is important. And like this channel so that you will be notified. And all our courses are free of cost. And if someone wants to come on courses online, they can learn online, and they will have the certification. They have not to pay any cost on that. Just they should have their time to learn. And it is important for every engineer, every professional, every person who is doing the career, who is working or doing business, or he has the employees. It's very important for them. Thank you very much, gentlemen. See you next.